Today we will present you JudoManager desktop application and basic information about how to register and these basic informations. We won't go to advanced questions today. We will do advanced questions in 2 weeks' time. We will deal with the contest order, and all the options that happen. But we can answer some questions at the end. So we just basically want to go through the basic presentation. So for today's agenda, we will have present competition setup in JudoManager desktop, how to register in selected competitions, how does synchronization work. We'll go through checklist and settings for competition, and at the end questions and answers. So I send you checklist. The idea is that I send you in Word, especially because I want you to be able to adapt it to what you need, to write any notes you need, any additional information, so you can personalize it to what you need or change it however you like it. This was just basically what the information we think that are important to include in the checklist. So the intention of checklist is to help you guide through all the necessary settings, so you don't forget some settings that are important. I'll give you additional information about importance in the settings, in the connections between computers. There are some informations about the settings that can only be changed in Judo base. So these are listed as number 1. We will go through that in the checklist. You can check these settings in a desktop, but you cannot change them. So if they're not correct, you have to let us know, or basically to write to Corina, Ziad, or Eli, because they have access, so they can change them. Normally they are not a problem, but we are all human, and sometimes it can happen that there is, last year it was a problem that was the name of the competition. They wanted to have it different, and stuff like that can only be changed in Judo base. So to start, first you have a registration process. So for every competition you have to be set as competition manager in admin org. And when you get an email where you can go to your API key and API secret. So you see this is API key, and then you click on show secret, and it will show you API key and API secret. And then when you open the registration, you will have unregistered application, please register it, and then you have to enter API key and API secret. And then you can select competition. This is the basic process of what you need to go through to get this. First you have, of course, to install the program, but the installation, when you get the program is usually posted either in the Telegram group for the control room group, or you get it personally sometimes. We always provide the program, you install it on the computer, and then you just have to have this API key and API secret. What we do after every competition, only when you are a competition manager, you can send data online. What we do after the end of competition, we delete you as competition manager. So later, if you change something, you cannot automatically send data online. This is a precaution, because otherwise, later on you go to the competition, you can change something, and then you change data online, which is something we don't want to happen. If there is a special case, like something happens after the competition and you have to go back and change, that has to be done, with the authorization and so on. So here you see a screen. Here I have 2 competitions, and if you see data location, one is local and one is through server. So local means that I have already downloaded this competition. I have local database that I saved it to the computer, and then I can restore this competition back from this to check, to view, to get, just any information. And on server, that means I click on this and I get competition from database. So this is what you see on the screen. These are two options if you have saved database. So then there is another important settings. User interface type, we have two options, either IGF or full. IGF is the one you have to use. I will show you now when we will go to the program what is the difference in short. But basically in IGF you have more restriction than in full. That's why the other is full, and the report design is different because full is intended for national competitions, and national competitions have different reports and layouts for this. So we will change now to the actual program. We're setting that the other screen. It's okay now. So you see the program now? Okay. So here I'm actually have a competition in the program, and I will just show you these basic settings that I was talking about. So select competition. You see here, if I click on the select competition, the program will offer me the data I want to select, but I already have this data here. So if I go to small icon on the top and I click here, it will put me here to these basic settings. Here I can see, I can change the user that's registered. Here I see the version of the program and interface type. So if I change here from IGF to full, I will get additional options, but you don't want to do this for IGF events. No, you want to be on IGF because otherwise you will have more options for settings, but you will have different reports and so on. So then I go here to settings. Here, this is really important. You have to enable draw animation. If you check, go to the checklist, you will see that this is one of the items on the checklist. And here I have advanced settings where we discussed last week. I have to be in Judo base. The others here you don't need to change, but you can check what are the options. So then I save OK, and I'm back here. So one of the important things I want to talk about before we continue, we talked about it last week, but I will want to stress it again. So, so if you see this PowerPoint, these two are synchronization and service. Okay, synchronization, this is the one that pushes all the data online. So I want to stress again, if you're doing testing, if you're learning, training how to do the program, this must be off. Otherwise you send data online, and it can happen really easily. So after you finish testing, clear everything that you were testing, or delete the database and synchronize competition again. Because if you, for example, if you're set as competition manager, you refresh, you select competition, you refresh it to desktop application, then you do some changes, you don't clear these changes, you forget about them, and then you turn synchronization on. It can be next day or after 2 days, and everything will synchronize online. So it's really important that you know when to synchronization on, when synchronization is off, and what changes you're doing. If you're not sure, it's better to contact us, and we can, log and clear the database so we don't send any information that should not be sent online.
Unsynchronized.
Yeah. So where you can, if you want to synchronize if you want to synchronize data online, then it's really important that the synchronization is on. I have synchronization off now because I don't want to send any data online. But here you check unsynchronized data. So here you can see there is a lot of unsynchronized data because we don't want to send any of this data online. So you can change you can check unsynchronized, and you can also check errors. And then you can, if I select, then I can mark them as synced, unmark them, or synchronize it online.
For example, if you have very bad internet connection, then some errors can appear and you can monitor them there.
Yeah, so this is the point. Okay, so this is important information about synchronization. We will talk more about this unsynced data later on, but so you understand how it's working. So the other thing, if we go to PowerPoint again, is service. So service is here on the right corner, and here you see it's stopped on this screenshot. So this enables to send data to all the clients in the network. So scoreboards won't get data, contest order won't get data, no one will get data from server if this is stopped. So service must be running to send data to all the clients. So these are two really important things you need to understand.
Server.
So another important thing, sometimes it happens that there are two competition managers or one competition manager with two computers. Always you need to have just one server. If you have two servers, one can be a backup server. On the same network, never have two servers. One can be a backup server, one can be a server that is okay, but never two servers. If you have two servers, for example, we had them in veterans and so on, it's really important that you know which data you have changed on one server and how to synchronize it to the other. So if there is no special reason for having two servers, don't have two servers. One on accreditation, one in the sports hall, it can be done, but you need to be really careful about how you synchronize data online. Okay, so we synchronized competition. We have the competition now, and this in the checklist is what you have to, what you can check after synchronization. It's better to check it in JudoBase before, but you don't have access to JudoBase. We are developing some features that you could open PDF and check this before synchronization, but after synchronization, you should check this before anything else, that you did get the right data. If there is any mistake, it can happen sometimes, because we're dealing with a huge amount of competitions, with huge amount of data, huge amount of settings, so it can happen. That you check the event info. So you check the name of the competition, the dates, the place, the time zone that you have in, and the logo. This time zone you can change, but everything else you cannot change in a desktop. It has to be changed in a JudoBase. So it's really important that you check this. So we go to the program now.
If you have some questions, you can let us know. Either you talk, you can write, whatever. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, because maybe I'm fast, but. So this is event info, and see, if I click here, I can change number of mats. This number of wins means that you have to win at least one contest to get the result. This is important. And then you go to age categories, and it's good that you check that you have all the correct data here inside. I'm sure that almost 100% of times it will be correct, but it's important that you double check because you're the one responsible for the competition and that you have correct data in here. So here In age categories, you check that you have correct age category. Then here you see the day distribution, so which category is on which day. This is important for a random weigh-in and stuff like that when you're printing. So it's important that you have the correct day of the category. Here you can check the number of contestants, and on the bottom you see how many contests there will be per day. So this is the sum and how many there will be per day and how many per mat. You know, if I set different amount of mat, for example 2, and I go here, you will see that this number changes a lot. So how many contests per mat you have per day. So again, if I change number mats to 4 again, the number will be much lower. So then you go to weight category, and here you can set weight tolerance. So for cadets, we have weight tolerance. So we can set this weight tolerance here, for example. You have to set it in every category. And this will show on the weighing list on the top. So the one who is weighing will know for sure that they have weight tolerance. Then contest length, usually you don't touch this. And golden score, this is unlimited golden score, but for example, we need this for veterans competitions where they have in some age categories limited to 1 minute. So that's why we have these settings here. The same for women. So this is the important things to check when you refresh the competition and get the data. So this is the basic checking that you have to do at the start when you synchronize competition. So here I will stop and ask you if you have any questions about this first part, because maybe I was fast. If you have any questions, you can unmute now and ask, or write in the chat. Maybe if I was not explicit enough about some things. So if you follow checklist, you can see that we come to the before accreditation now. Okay, if no questions, I will continue. Then, you know, you have to prepare for accreditation. So first thing that is important is this change report sponsor. So this report sponsor shows underneath the reports that you print. So if you don't change this, all your reports will have JudoManager at the bottom, which maybe is not the best idea. So maybe you want to have the sponsors that you have for the competition. This sponsor line for IGF, for EU, we always get these report sponsors. So this can be at the bottom. Next thing, you need to have accreditations. So for this, you have to first decide which sort of layout you want. For now, we have designed to basic JudoManager design that is used for national competitions usually, AGU design for European Union competitions, and IGF design. So here I want to have IGM design. I click this, and all the accreditations will have IGF design on the side. And then you need to import the background. So you choose, for now we have for European Union templates and IGF templates. And you import this to have the background. Of course, we can add templates here for Pan America, Asia, Africa, and so on to have the desired accreditation layout. And then there is possibility to add ranking or don't add ranking. So if you want to have ranking on the accreditations or not. So this is what you have to prepare for the accreditations. And then you can print accreditations. So for printing, you go to accreditations, And now we have this is new feature in version 7. This wasn't in version 6. So I can decide which accreditations I want to print. Now we also have media accreditations. Okay, so officials, referees, competitors, and backside. So I can choose how I want to prepare these accreditations. So we have any questions about that? No? Okay, this is basically, and then you have print. So here on every, here we say segment, competition, accreditation, weigh-in, draw, contest order, and so on and so on. So here on top, first you will have like view, then you will have the functions that you need to do, and there is always print section. So for example, I select Algeria and I want to print delegation control. So you need to print delegation control before, you know, to have the list for the delegation control, and you can print by country, or you can print them, you can select them all and print them all and so on. So this is what you basically need to do before accreditation. And nations overview, and it will give you nations overview. So this is basically what you do if everything is okay. And then sometimes it happens that there are some issues that you don't have some data. It can happen, or maybe you add someone later and so on. So we have this feature here. You go to data, clean data and fetch, and you can just fetch country flags. For example, one flag is missing or one flag is not correct, you know, and maybe it has to be changed or anything, and you can just click, so I want to fetch country flags, or I want to fetch person's images, or this is quite important. You know, we had a lot of dealing with ranking because, you know, we have competitions like every week. So it's every week. So for example, last week we have Cadets European Cup in Italy, and now this week we have Cadet European Cup in Spain. So it's really short time, you know, to prepare ranking, to prepare accreditations and so on. So there were many issues. We had to refresh competition and again to get the correct ranking inside. So that's why we made this ranking. So if you want to just import the ranking of the athletes that are registered, you can just go here and import ranking. So this is like, if any of the necessary pictures, images, or ranking is missing, you can just do it here. You don't have to refresh the whole competition. So, but for example, if you have refreshed competition and then you were informed that one delegation was added, for example, it can happen in special case, that one delegation was allowed to enter late or something, then you have to go to competition, and then you have to refresh data for this competition. So we will get this delegation inside. Okay. Any questions about this preparation before accreditation? So this is basically the general things that you do before accreditation. One more thing that is maybe good to do before accreditations is time blocks. Why? When you put time block inside here, this time block is synchronized to Judo TV, and Judo TV will get the information when the time blocks will start. And also we need these time blocks to create MOOC stream and so on. So if you know when the start of competition will be, it is good that you enter these time blocks here, so you will help the others to do the other things. Of course, I know if you don't have the exact time, maybe you will wait to get the information, so you don't want to put just any time in here. So how do you create a time block? It's really easy. Double click or go to this icon, add time block, and here you choose the type, so preliminary is final block. Then you set start time, and then you select like mats. So I have to do preliminaries, start time, and I select mats. How many mats do I want in each time block? This icon refers overall mats. This is for final block. When you have, for example, just one mat and you want the all referees to go there, or you have 3 mats and the commission says that they can change between mats, then you have to put this on for a time block. It's really easy to change time block, so you can just drag it to, so for example, if you want to finish time block, you just drag it up or open it and enter the time you want it to stop. So if you want to open the time block, you just double click on it and it will open. Okay, so here on the top, you see this is present time block is red. It is red because this is not the correct time for this time block, because we are more than a week off. So this time block would start blinking red 15 minutes before it finishes. So this is like a warning to you if the time block is too short that you have to extend it. It will start blinking like this. So it informs you that you can change between these time blocks here. What is important, if I choose this time block, this will appear. So the information for from this time block will be sent to contest order and to scoreboards. So if I choose this time block, the information I have in this time block will be sent to scoreboards. If I change to the other time block, information from this time block will be sent to scoreboards and so on. So this affects local network, computers on the local network. Okay? So any questions about these time blocks? What are they for? We discussed a little bit last week about this. So then we go to accreditation procedure. So here we have a lot of options of how you want to view what you're watching. So overview will just display all the information about the teams, how many delegations are already arrived, how many are confirmed, how many are registered, and so on. But detailed view will give you the detailed view about the athletes. And of course about the delegation. So you can change here. You have nation view or you have category view. So this is for category. Here you can see the functions of staff or doctors and so on and so on. Or you can see competitors. So this is where how you choose to view. Normally on accreditation they come by nation. So usually you choose one delegation. And then you can choose, for example, or, and I say, okay, I will confirm all. And then I confirm them all. Or I can choose one and delete one and so on. I can also do right click and I can change weight category easily to another weight category. Okay. I can set a coach. This is usually done only for IGF events. So the television has information about which coach is for which competitor. I can add status, I can remove status and so on with a right click. So what I can also do here is convert competitor to judoka. So, you know, sometimes someone is registered as competitor and then he does not compete for whatever reason, you can change him to judoka. The thing is, you cannot change judoka back to competitor. Okay? And if I have official, I can change function type. So you can change function type of the delegation. You can change competitor to judoka, or you can change status, change weight category, set coach, and so on. So this is what you can, basically what you're doing on accreditation. So I can print delegation control here, nation overview. I can print only selected athletes. I can print by functions. I can print accreditations if they're not correct, and so on and so on. So all these prints are available here. So this is control list for categories. Yeah. And here you have options how to print. So you can have first print preview, I can directly print, or I can export to PDF. So you have all these free options everywhere how you want to print them. And there is one important thing, set all seeders by ranking. There is sometimes a lot of confusion what this button does. What this button does is looks the information you have in the program. So it looks to the ranking that you have in the program, that you have synchronized to the program. And then it sets the ranks by this, sets the seeders by this ranking. So if you delete one of the competitors that is seeder, if you change the category of this competitor, you have to set seeders again, because it won't happen automatic. Okay? Was this clear? Am I going too fast? Okay. If I'm sorry if I'm going too fast, but there are so many things. So any questions about this? So what I will do now is I will go here. I will select the category. I can do it like this. I will confirm all. I can do another category. I can confirm all. So we have this. So another thing that I think it's good to do during accreditation or before or when you get data is referees. So for the referees, what you have to do here, you see is a number. Each referee will have a number. This will be empty when you will get referees. So you put the number to the referee the way the referee commission wants you to put it. And then you have to put the mat to every referee. So this first column is the mat for eliminations, and the second is mat for final block. So by setting the mat for the final block, you choose this referee to be able to referee in the final block. If you put nothing here, then this referee will not be chosen for the final block. Okay? So these are two things that you have to do here. Next thing is you have to have this auto draw referees. This has to be on. Yeah? If this is off, the referees will not be automatically drawn. We had this bug here that you could click here and it's okay now. And then you have this avoidance type. What happens sometimes in the competitions that you have too many referees from one nation, you know, and you cannot set avoidance type by country because, you know, these referees will not be able to referee a lot of contests because there are so many. For example, for some Cadets Cup, you have a lot of competitors for, let's say, Italy, and then you have a lot of referees from Italy. And it's impossible to set all the referees to avoid the country. And so you can choose here no avoidance. So if you choose no avoidance, then the referee from one country can referee the competitor from this country. And here you choose the number of referees. This is usually either 1 or 3. If it's free, one will be referee and two will be your judge. And then in special cases, maybe, there can be some referee that is not allowed to referee, he's only allowed to judge. Then you open the referee, click here, save changes, and now you will see here that he is not allowed to referee. And there is one another thing. This is basically mostly for IGF competitions or continental championships and so on, that some of the referees are not allowed to referee someone from other country. For example, if a referee is not allowed to referee from he's from Australia, but he's not allowed to referee from Slovakia, I think. You can also enter that you have excluded countries. Okay. And it will show here in the excluded countries. Okay. Any questions about this accreditation procedure and settings? So what I'm trying to do is like follow the checklist of what needs to be done for the competition. Okay. So let's say that we have done the accreditation, we have confirmed the athletes, and now you have a draw. Okay. So before you start the draw, it's really important that you check draw configurations. So this is really important to check. So here you have to set the repassage type, and here you can pre-select what sort of draw type you want. This just presets what is here draw configuration. So for 6 and more, most of the international competitions use pool system. But for smaller numbers, you have different options of how to set them. So this is really important that you check what is in the outlines and that you check that you have correct draw settings here. So you can use different options of what draw type you want. For pools here, you also have options for 2 groups final, 2 groups semi-final and final and so on, but these are mostly not used in the judo-based competitions, but there are still options. And then save and check that you have the correct configuration. And then you have separations. So how you want to separate athletes. So this is by countries for judo-based competitions, and also the number of seeders. It's usually 4 or 8, depending on the level of competition. So it's really important that you check these settings before the draw commences. And another important thing that I think it's best to always do before the draw is set all seeders by ranking. So click this and it will set the seeders by the ranking they have. So this is really important. Okay, so seeders were successfully set. And then if I go to draw, I can check the seeders here that they are correct, and I can check the athletes here. Okay. Okay. This was the data that happens. Here, what I can do when the draw is made, before the draw, I can delete, I can change weight category, I can set seeders, and so on. But here I can also disqualify overweight athletes. So I think this is the easiest way to do when the draw is made, is to disqualify overweight here. You can also do it in accreditation. Not yet, because I didn't make the draw yet, but so here then you have the draw. So draw can be performed like this. You know, I can draw athlete, I can draw weight category, and I can confirm weight category, and I will have the draw made. But what we usually do, there is always two steps here in the. What we usually do we have a draw display. So what draw display does only shows the draw that was made in the server. So here you need to check this. You've seen now what was done. So we checked that this is the correct server, because we have more servers in the network, that this is the correct servers. What you want to show, and which logo you want to show. So, and then you have theme. The themes that we have here are the ones that are, you have the options to choose, you know. These are mainly IGF themes, because we have them. If we get more themes for EU to display or any continent, we can add them. We need 1 week to prepare, and then we put out new version with these options. But we need to have the advanced, the layout, what we want. And then you choose either you want to have music loop or draw mix or not. So you can hear that. So then I go to, for example, I want to, okay. Huh?
The settings is more.
I can small it. Yes. Okay, so you put the correct settings, which is quite important, and then you have the display here. So if I go to the next presentation mode, it will show the next presentation mode on the display. Okay, and then I go through all this, and then I can go to category, go forward, go to category, and when I go forward, it will show all the competitors first. Go forward, it will make a draw, and it will display this draw, and immediately we'll have the list here. It takes some time to show all and so on. Now I have confirmed only competitors in 2 categories, so it can only draw 2 categories because I didn't confirm any of the other categories. Eli just reminded that we can also use localhost. It's easier than, you know, maybe IP address and so on. So here you can also set localhost, and it will, and you will also have the display. And then you continue, and then if I have a women category, I move to women, and it will show women category. But I don't have any women confirmed, so it cannot do that. Okay, so this is basically for the draw display. And then you get this confirmed categories here. So now you see that I have the draw here, I can confirm, and then later we find out that this one was overweight. I just go here and disqualify this athlete. He will be set as overweight, and you know, he will be crossed over. We'll show you he will be crossed over in contest order and so on. So, any questions about the draw? One thing, you should always test the draw. Yes, always test the draw, so we know that everything is okay. But after you have done the test, be careful that you go to these categories. For example, I have only finished the draw of this category. Go to this category, unconfirm this category, go again and clear draw. So by this I will have unprepared and clear draws, so you know the draw will be made from new. So when you do the test, when you finish the test, you have to check that everything is cleared, that you don't have any draw made. So I will just do it how they usually do it. Oh. I will just do these two categories because you've seen what happened. This is how it's usually done on national competitions without the draws play. So if I want to make a draw in a category with unconfirmed athletes, I will have this pop-up warning so that they are not confirmed. So you can go and check, you know, if everything is okay, if you have missed someone and so on. So we have made a draw for two categories now. Yes, do we have a question? So when you have a draw display, you know, you need to be here. You need to be set on the either men or either women, or if you want to draw a certain category, on the category you want to draw. Okay, so if I want to go from men to women, I'm here and I go forward, it won't go automatically. Or if you draw women first, I go to women, I go forward, then have to go to men to draw the categories. Because a lot of time women are first, and you know, you have to go to women and then you have to go to men. Okay, so then you have a way in. Here, you know, it is possible to enter weight for every athlete if you want to. For example, I open, I put the weight in, and I close. But we don't do that usually for the IGF competitions. But what you do in a weigh-in is weigh-in list. So this is why when you put athletes on which day is which, I can just say, okay, print everything for day one. I will have print, and it will give me each category, so I can give to the officials on a weigh-in that they can weigh in the athletes. This is one thing. Here you also print failed weigh-in. So now we have this failed weigh-in, so I can print this, and of course you also have random. You choose, okay, how many athletes per category, which category I draw, and then I need random weigh-in list print. You remember when I set the tolerance at the start? You see here that here you will see this tolerance. So you can have 63 and for cadets plus this tolerance. So this is already included here. Okay. Any questions about the weighing?
I will just try to enable something if I see. No, I cannot. I'm sorry, but I figured out that you cannot see the mouse now, probably. I'll just try to enable it. I don't know how to.
Okay. So any questions so far? So if we have, like here, so we set everything in the competition, we have set everything in accreditation, we have set everything in the weigh-in, we have done the draw, and now it's a contest order. So here in the contest order, we will have special webinar for this because it's, you know, this is basically what you do during the competition. During the competition, there are sometimes a lot of things that you need to do in the contest order. And also, you know, it is important how you create a contest order. So we will have a special webinar about everything that's happening here. But what is really easily just basic information here, I will only see the categories that I have made a draw for. So only the categories I have made a draw will appear here. And I can have different, so if I open here, I can have different options of how I want to see every category divided. So what I can do basically, okay, I want to have these two categories both on mat 1. I can just drag them and I say mixed round. And they'll be set first round of one category, first round of the other category, and so on and so on. This is in planning, I can see it. So when I check contest order, I will see it like this. And I have finals and bronze, everything in here. So maybe I don't want to have this. So I can remove them from plan. And I will get them back here. And I will see which one are not set to the mat. So the final block is not set to the mat. If I'm in a plan, I can also say clean. So I made a mistake completely, I want to clean. And it will just clean me completely. Clean the account. Or maybe I want to have pool A, pool B, and then I want to have pool A, pool B from this category. And I just drag them and it will mix them. Of course, you have repassage semifinals. So if I want to put these, I have to select all the ones I want to put here. And then I will have them round by round.
Okay, Rebecca.
Okay, so in plan, you just see basic plan and you don't have so many options to check. Here I can have short format. Okay, I can choose like this. So we will only see mat 1. So I can have short format, I can have long format, and I can have a referee view. So in referee view, I will see the referees that were selected for this mat. So I don't have that many referees. So here you see draw referees. And if I click this button, it has to draw referees for the contests. I can check them. And I will see that there are referees for the contest with the competitors already inside. And the ones who don't have referees, don't have contestants, don't have referees because the program cannot choose because it's avoidance type. So this is like really short what you can do. And now when I click to the contest, I can move it up, move down, move to the end. I can add pause, I can skip, I can set winner, I can clear referees, and I can disqualify. So this is what I basically do in the, so I can add pause. So I want to have countdown, and this pause will be here. Okay, then I have, I can choose prints, matte, what I want to print, the layout I want to print, also for team competition. And for example, I want to unfinished one page. I want to have these prints, and it will create these prints. Okay. So we have done all this, and then it's really important thing which we think is testing in sports of whole before competition. So this is really important for all competitions. So there are a few things that we put in the red in the checklist. So it's important thing is to pause Windows updates in all computers, because if Windows updates start in the middle of competition, then it takes some time for them to finish, and there's not much you can do. So this is one really good thing. Another thing is set the correct time zone, synchronize date and time on all computers in the network. So this is quite important. We talked about that in the previous webinar. Make sure all devices in the network have unique host name. This is also quite important, otherwise there is an issue. And in case of using static IP, which we recommend, we really recommend to use static IPs. All devices must have unique IP. So it is really recommended that you set static IPs on the computers in the network. And one other important thing is that all the computers in the network must have the same version of JudoManager. This we have written in the checklist because it can happen that there is an issue and you search for an issue for a long time, and just by checking these things, sometimes it can be really difficult to find the issue, and it's really easy to solve it. Just put another host name or change the IP and so on. So this is why we put this in a checklist. And then we go to JudoManager Scoreboard. So I have this open here. So this is the scoreboard. So first thing I have to do is go to settings and select, mat, select the bell, because it's not good if all the mats have the same bell. And then there are these settings. So this is how you want to see what's going on the scoreboard display. So usually you want to show category round, and usually you want to show blue first or white first. Then you want to see both athletes, contest and winner, this is necessary. And then you want to have logos or no, and this is quite important also. Do you have 10-second rule in golden score or not? Now you have on judo-based competition, you have 10 seconds golden score. But we have this option because some of the national competitions don't want to have 10 seconds in golden score for Osekomi. And then you say, okay, these are the settings I want to have. and then you go to data and you clean data, and all data will be reset with the information from the server. So you see already there is a break here and so on. And then I want to start scoreboard display. Okay, I have to set the settings also on the scoreboard display. So I check if I have all this information from server, if I have correct logo, save, and I will get scoreboard display. So here we have some options. So you can go to data and go to test mode, which we think is really important because, you know, you want the scoreboard operators to practice a little, you know, to go through what can be clicked and so on. So you want to go through the procedure, and you have this testing mode, no data will be sent to server. And now they can practice, they can see what is going on, how you delete, how you press, and so on. So we have also these options to register Dr. Cool. So if doctor is called, it's registered, it's not shown anywhere, it is just registered in the database. So if you want to have statistics about, you know, how many times doctors went to the mat and so on, you can change time, you know, and of course, this is basically how the scoreboard works. So they can practice without sending any data anywhere, just as long as they're in test mode. They can test everything. So they should really work in the test mode. Okay? And now I go out of the test mode and I'm in the contest mode. So here I put the real contest on the scoreboard. So this is the basic information. Okay, what is important? If I go here to server, now you see this tatami 1 is green. This means that he has the connection to the scoreboard. If I go to test mode, this will turn to violet. This means that the scoreboard is in test mode. So this is good information of whoever is running competition to know if they're in test mode, if you have a connection, or if you don't have a connection to scoreboard, it's red. When you're testing the day before competition, you need to have green or violet if they're in test mode, so we know that you have connections to all the scoreboards. This is important. And it's also important to check the scoreboard displays and see that everything is working as it's supposed to be. So, okay, then we have contest order display. So again, first you have, of course, to set connection. And here you can choose if you want to see scoreboards also on the contest order. So I choose this, then I select what sort of preview I want to have. So you have a lot of options how we want to do it. Layouts, so for example, I want to see just mat 1 and mat 2, and how many contests per mat I want to see. Also the view, is it for contestants, for referees, for announcers, or for team competition? And then I can really play with, you know, how big I want to have everything and so on. So this is how I get information to the scoreboard, and you see here on the left side that you have information from the scoreboard. So the time and the result. So this you have to put on the monitors in the warm-up area or wherever you want to have it, and you will see. Then you also have a coach assistant. So coach assistant is a web browser. So what you need to put is what you have in your checklist in the web browser, and you will get the coach assistant. Okay. So here you see, it's in this case it's localhost, or you have to put IP and then coach assistant, and you will get the coach assistant. Okay. Any questions about any of this? Okay. Then we go to Packetsender. So we talked about Packetsender in the previous webinar. So just to remind you why it is needed. So to send data to clients, and for the cutting and so on. So what you do here, first you have to I think it's this one. We have to select the server, select. You have to have the system is Judo base, API URL, this information you have in the checklist, what you have to do. And we suggest that you have only active on as default, and this high performance sending you need for graphics. Okay, then you go to save settings. I go to scoreboard, and you have to see the data in the scoreboard, and you see that packets are in the test mode. So this is the data. And then if I want to send it to API, it means send it online. Saving to disk means that you save it locally. Broadcast is for the graphics and so on. And then you have to put also ingest packets and set scoreboard time on. So I don't want to do this because I don't want to send any data that I have here online. So this is basically about the Packetsender. Okay. Okay. So I know this was fast and also a lot of informations. I have we will send you video. I have also a short PowerPoint presentation that I will also share in the group. Of course, we will also have a video. And now it's time for some questions about JudoManager desktop. So if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask, or you can write in the chat.
Is it possible to print/generate the accreditation per day?
If you select them by categories. So if you choose them by categories, maybe. So if you go to categories, select everyone that is in this category, and then go to print selected accreditations. This would be a way around it.
Okay, Nico says, thank you. Better to do an advanced scan of the network IP.
So before we were talking about the network interfaces, that's one topic that we are now discussing and already working on how to improve for later. But what happens many times is that actually laptops especially have like multiple networks. And what happens is that both of these network devices are sending out information about, hey, I'm here and this is my IP. And we are doing this so you can really get information. The scoreboard is somewhere on the network, so it tries to send all of the IPs. And what we recommend is to right-click and just click disable. And in this way, only the active one will, of course, be broadcasted, we call it. Only this IP will be broadcasted. And you can also right-click on it, go to properties, and you can, of course, disable IPv6. It can cause some issues sometimes. And if you double-click now here to IP version 4, you can set the static IP. And why this is good? It's good because then you have control which IPs are actually for which computers. Like Alice suggested, you can use then ping InfoView program, and then you can always ping them. What sometimes happens is that the network is good for first 10 minutes, and then you go around, and then it actually becomes bad. Either cable is broken, they put the table on the cable, and over here it says like how many of them are failed. And this can be one good diagnostic tool for you to know if the network is good or not. And then the other topic that Anya mentioned is other topic that Anya mentioned is to set the correct time zone and time. If you right-click on the bottom right in Windows 11, you have these two options. You select adjust date and time. And here you can set the time zone. We are currently in Ljubljana time zone, and the set time automatically must be turned on, and you need to sync now. And what happens sometimes is this exact error, and the only way how I know how to fix is that you go back to the control panel, you go in the main menu, you select the small icons view to see all of the things that you can do, and you find date and time. When you select, you go here to internet time, change settings, and I need to contact the computer admin. This I don't know how to fix because I am admin. I will just quickly check. I don't know what's going on here. We just installed the new Windows today. I will try to figure it out and let you know what was the problem after.
So, you know, this maybe basic information about how we think you should set the computers in the network. That's, you know, it's secure, it's safe option, and but the most important thing is that all these things are tested the day before competition. So because, you know, it's really difficult to fix things before competition because you have a lot of work to do. You have to print, you know, you have to do random weigh-in, you have to distribute the prints and so on. And then it's a big load if you have to also fix these problems in the mornings. So we really suggest that everything is tested the day before, because it's, you know, I know everyone is tired the day before, but still better than in the hurry in the morning. So this
maybe one suggestion to make sure that the server is the right one, because you have to select in many different places, is to rename the name of the computer.
Yeah.
So you're sure that the one you selected is the real server, because by the numbers, it's always complicated to find out.
Yes, I agree, Eli, completely with you, completely.
It's just something that can make your life easier. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
You can even print the name of the computer then on the computer.
Yeah, but it's easier than JudoManager XY20,
Yes.
whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah, true.
Because then even when you go out of the venue, you know which computer you took.
Yes.
Yes.
Never touch the server when it works.
Yeah, you have seen here we have a lot of computers, a lot of server computers in the network because, you know, we will do a lot of testing and so on. And you've seen that we were offered like free options for server computer and so on. You shouldn't have this option. You shouldn't have this option if you have only one server in the network. It should always be only one server, and it's really easy to select which one you want because there is only one.
Backup machine.
So it can be backup, but backup will always be marked as backup. So we will know.
Yeah, but you don't forget last time with the backup.
Yeah, yeah.
By the time you set the backup, then you're no.
Yes.
And with the time zone, we had something very odd in Paris, where a lot of computers and telephones were having. We still don't know if it was a bug or what. From maybe even from the providers, they were having different time zones. So it was affecting and not affecting, but yes,
Yes.
make sure that this is also checked.
True. And don't forget about pausing Windows Update and doing updates. You know, this is because if one of the scoreboards goes to Windows updates, then if you have a spare one, you can change. Otherwise, you will wait until the updates are finished. So, you know, it can be like these things you don't think about, but it can disrupt the competition. There are more functions, but we thought that maybe presenting this today and then in 2 weeks' time go more into the detail about, you know, all the disqualifications and changing the result and wrong result on the scoreboard. We can really discuss that, and also what is the best way to prepare the contest order and so on. So you have this more detailed information about the use. I hope we explained basic information well enough. It's a lot to take in if you're not used to working with the program, and there are always some you know, advancements, and we put some new features and so on. So we will try to keep you informed as much as possible about this. Yeah, I'm really happy with your responses to what we were asking to the online surveys. I'm really happy for all your questions, even if we didn't answer them all, but you know, we read them all, so we know what you're asking. So next week will be about FairReplay, how to set everything up, cutter, uploader, all these informations, and in 2 weeks' time we will go more into the detail about, you know, actual running of competition.
Is it a must to use the same operating system on all computers in the network, or can we use like Windows 11 for the server and Windows 10 for the scoreboard?
You can do whatever you want with this.
Yes, you can use different, but maybe 10 and 11, okay. Maybe not 7 and 11.
7 and 11, especially not in Japan.
So for scoreboards, you don't need, it can be a normal laptop, but it's good, you know, that you don't put a lot of things on. It's better that it's, you know, dedicated for this. And that you check, you know, that you don't have any strange programs on it. So this is basically, it's not necessary to have powerful equipment for that. Basic laptop will do for scoreboards. For server, maybe you want to have a little better laptop. But for scoreboards, it's okay. It just has to be updated. Okay, now Simon can show you how to set synchronized time.
Will this work in Mac?
No. Only thing that works on Mac is the coach assistant. Currently, we know about the need for this, but it's simply too hard. You might try to use the parallels. My pronunciation is really bad. And you can also use some other virtualization, maybe Packetsender, something else.
Okay, so Simon can now show you.
Yeah, so after a bit of fiddling around with the command prompt, because we installed some program to disable most of the services in the Windows, we figured out that the Windows time service was not available over here. So we added it, and now it's added by default. So you can always go to Internet time in the control panel, or you can also go here for the right click, and then you can sync now. And then if this appears, all is good.
If there are no more questions, I would like to thank you also, Eli, for your comments.
You get a prize.
Yes, you know, because sometimes we forget to explain something. So thank you, yes. And thank you for the questions.
There is another question there. Will this work for Mac? No.
No. Okay, so thank you all for participating. I hope you got the basic informations. So we will go in the next weeks, we will go to more advanced informations, more in detail information. And so like I said, next week it's FairReplay, and then a week after that, JudoManager in more detail. So yeah, thank you all.
I think one maybe shorter section and very detailed for each section. I mean, yes. Installation, managing, preparation, accreditation, and so on will be useful for especially for the ones that never used it before.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure
because now it's a lot of information, and I think yes. Our colleagues are a little bit overwhelmed with all this.
Yes, that's why we will send you a video to go through, and also PowerPoint. And if you have any information or you need anything, you can write also to our Telegram. Not necessary to Telegram group, and we will try to answer you. But first, yes, I think contest order is quite important because you manage a lot of that in the competition, and then we will go to details about everything. So thank you all.